Not again.
Hey y'all. So before we get into today's video, we want to say thank you for reaching 100 subscribers, and we've actually passed that. I think we're at 120 right now as it stands. But we just want to say thank you for the love and support that we've had over the last 6 months, as tomorrow marks the 6-month anniversary of us starting YouTube. So yeah, just want to say a big thank you, and the journey will continue on. Yeah. And with that being said, today's video is about starting a YouTube channel and kind of tips and tricks on how to get started, as well as how we got started. So hopefully this will help any of you out there that is kind of in the same boat we are and wanted to start making posts on social media. So yeah, that's what today's about.
Let's get into it. All right, y'all. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the need to determine a purpose. So one thing that we did before we fully started our YouTube channel and TikTok and all the things was we sat down and was like, okay, like why are we doing this? And I think it's really important to decide that, because it helps motivate you to keep going, I guess you could say. So for us, our purpose is to document our life together, because we've been together for so long. I feel like within our first year, we took photos and videos like crazy. But as the years have gone on, I don't know. For me personally, like, I don't feel a need to like document it as much. Like before we started all this, it was just kind of like I want to see it with my own eyes versus always being on my phone and stuff like that. But through YouTube, it's helped us to learn like to document more and remind us of that every time that we're together. So I think it's really cool to be able to look back and be like, this year of us dating, we got to do this, or whatever. Like I always go back to our Hilton Head video. That's one thing for me, because that was such a special trip, and honestly, it's one of my favorite memories of us. Yeah. And I was actually watching it the other night, but just being able to go back, because like during those times it just gets so busy. You don't get to remember every single thing that happened. And through those videos, like making YouTube or TikToks or whatever, you get to remember that and go back and reminisce on that. So that's one reason why we did it. But we also wanted to spread positivity, because I just feel like there are positive influencers out there. But we just wanted to be one of them, and we wanted to spread light to everybody and what feels like such a dark time in our world and stuff, but also to shine God's light to other people. I feel like God really called us to do this and to use our platform to spread His word and to spread about Him. So that's one of our other purposes, one of the 3.
Another tip that we've found that works really well is to find a schedule that works for both of us, because we're both in school. She's in graduate school, and I'm finishing undergrad and then moving into graduate school pretty soon after it, and I also work full-time, so scheduling is very hard. Like, I guess we never realized how much time goes into it at first. For example, like shorts and TikToks, we were like, okay, we're gonna make like a TikTok or shorts every day, just one a day, and those aren't as bad, but we didn't want to fall into just repeating stuff and just making stale things, because at the same time we want to document our actual lives, but we also just want it to be entertaining and for you all. So that was different, to work out a daily schedule to find something different every day. And for YouTube, we do once a week, and that's what takes the most time. I mean, we basically start on Saturday and we don't get it posted until Tuesday. So really finding a schedule like that, like we try to start filming on Saturdays and Sundays and edit Mondays and Tuesday, that really works best for us, and it helps with the busyness that we have going on.
I think there's a lot too, like from the outside you think, oh, you just have to film a video, that's it, but there's so much more that goes into it too, of like, yeah, you have to film the video, but you also have to take the time to come up with the video idea and to figure out how that's going to work, and like to get space to do those things. And I don't know, it's just like a lot of things that you don't really think about till you're actually doing it. So yeah, that's kind of hard too. But we also split roles too, to help with the time management of it all. Like Jacob mainly takes on like editing the YouTube videos, but I take on a lot of like the TikToks, the Instagram side of things. So you kind of have to split it up in order to manage your time well as well.
That's one thing, like editing the YouTube videos, I guess, thinking about it, like especially when we first started, we would have multiple hours worth of footage, and you think, oh, you just cut it and stuff, but you have to watch all everything you have.
Yeah.
So like 3 hours of editing is just watching it through. Then you've got double the time of actually cutting it, making it, make sense. So that's something that caught me off guard. That's why we first started posting on Sundays, I think was the first time we posted. And it quickly changed to having to post on Tuesdays just because of how long it takes to actually edit them, which we've gotten a lot more efficient now that we've got the schedule going where we film on Saturdays and Sundays and then edit on Monday and Tuesday. It helps a lot, and we've gotten more efficient with it. Like, we definitely don't have hours worth of footage anymore, unless it's like a big day. Like, we've done a couple like multi-day ones that's just been into one video, but other than that, we're pretty efficient now with filming and editing, so it's working out nice now.
So like Jacob was saying, it is really difficult to like initially get started and be able to set your schedule, because you have to be able to set time aside to do the things that you want to do for your filming purposes, like if you're filming for multiple days or whatnot. But like he was saying, we're both in school full time. He works full time and all that kind of stuff. That's like the set schedule things. But on top of that, like we have side things too. Like I teach dance a couple days a week and I babysit a couple days a week. So having to work around all that and make all that work on top of YouTube, it is really difficult, and it's very time consuming. You definitely have to have a passion for it, or else, because there have been times where like, what's the point? Like, we're so busy. Is this the time for us? Is this what God has planned for us? But obviously we do think that, or else we wouldn't be here. But it's just really difficult to find that time, because even Jacob, like, neither of us really get home till like 8 at night. Like, by the time we're able to like eat dinner and like take care of ourselves and then meet to film, it's like 8 or 9 at night. Yeah. Like right now, it's 8:39 p.m. So just being able to find time for that, it is really difficult as you are trying to start it up. But once you get it established, it's pretty smooth sailing. No. All right, y'all. So after I just got done taking over Jacob's tip, so sorry, we're on to tip 3, which is thumbnails are so important. And I feel like we're still trying to get the hang of this. Like at first, we really didn't care about thumbnails. Well, we cared, but we just didn't put as much time into it, I guess, compared to like the video. But they are so important. And it kind of goes with the time management tip before this, like that you have to set time aside to do it, because after we did realize how important it was, we set aside time. Like as soon as we get done filming and he's kind of editing, we kind of alternate who does it, but you definitely have to set time aside to do that and make sure that it gets done, because it is very important. But also a good way to create thumbnails is through Canva. So I have a Canva membership, but there's also free options. You just don't get as many like features if you do the free one. Sorry, I can't get it straight. But if you do the free one, there aren't as many accessible features. But with the paid membership, you get access to a lot more things, and there's not as much restriction. And we use it all the time, and I use it outside of like YouTube and stuff. Like I use it in my personal life too. So like for teaching dance.
That was what I was gonna say. I feel like the majority of our Canva, like for YouTube purposes, honestly is free features that come along with not paying for it at all. Yeah. She started paying for it because she was doing some other things that required it, but you can definitely be just fine doing free Canva, like you don't have to pay for it at all. Yeah. And
we definitely did that for a long time. Just to be honest, I got sick of like not being able to access things that I wanted to. So I was like, these are really cute. Like I can't use them though, because but there's definitely cute features like even with the free version.
Especially when you search for elements, they be sure to put the
cute
paid
ones
for ones
stuff.
first.
Yeah.
So it makes you want to get them. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you definitely can access everything you need to, especially if you're starting up, through the free version.
Absolutely.
Like, I get my money's worth. Like I don't just use it for one set thing. I use it for like all aspects of my life. Yeah. So like I've even used it for like OT school at this point. I literally used it last week. So just things like that, and it really makes it worth it. And it's not crazy expensive. I think it's between $5 and $10 a month. Yeah. It's not crazy, but it just depends on what you're using it for. Yeah. But if you're using it for YouTube, it's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah. And another thing with thumbnails is we've come to learn this here recently, actually. Posing for thumbnails, like actually just setting the camera up or your phone up and just doing fake poses is actually very worth it, because we had the hardest time just searching through the video to find one. And I never really thought about that until here recently. We did it for one video. We posed and it worked out great. But that's something we've been trying to work on, is to start posing more for the thumbnails, because it's too hard to find it in the video. Like our wellness video was a good one. Like that one was just out of the video, and it was like her natural reaction to the Stanley Cups. Like that one worked great, because like she was like really excited for it. It caught it just right. But normally you don't catch like that perfect moment, or if it is like a good moment, it's blurry because it was like, it wasn't set up. So
it's not aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Like there have been so many times that Jacob's like, Allie, like we could use this, and I'm like, no, we're not putting that out there. So yeah, it definitely taking that time to like pose or do something relevant to your video is 100% worth it.
Yeah. To keep building upon what seems to be a common topic of it takes a lot of time, is put in the work and the effort up front on the YouTube videos. Definitely when we first started posting YouTube videos, which was probably just the first couple, there's a ton of information to fill out about the video. I mean, all the way from, obviously the title, description, tags, search terms, video cards, thumbnails, date that was recorded,
branding,
location, channel branding. There's so much stuff that goes into it. And I definitely think putting the work in is worth it, because I've noticed here recently, I just recently learned how to do like the video cards and stuff and like the related videos. I feel like the videos do better when you filled in all the information, or going back on some of the older videos and trying to update the information to be sure it's completely filled out. And I definitely think it's worth it. That's something we did. I guess I skipped out on at the beginning because I just thought it was information like for us, but it's information for YouTube to push it to the right people. So I definitely think it's worth it to put the effort in up front, and it takes a long time to fill out that stuff. After you've edited for 2 days, it takes another 45 minutes just to post it. Oh, another thing, posting. I don't know if, depending on your internet connection, like I feel like I've got a pretty decent internet connection. It takes forever to post a video. When we first started filming on our phones, we were filming in like 4K and 60, and we were posting in 4K. Oh my gosh. I would literally just leave my computer on all night long and just sleep while I was posting. So now we just post in 1080p, and it does upload a lot quicker, but it still takes forever to upload and then process, and then it does a checking feature. So it's a lot of time.
Going along with what he said, like it's not even just YouTube that takes forever to upload, like TikTok sometimes do too. So just making sure that all your bases are covered whenever it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it definitely is worth it in the long run to fill out all those things, because neither of us, I feel like especially me, I was like, oh, that stuff takes too much time, like let's just skip it. But it honestly makes such a difference in taking those few extra minutes to fill out all that information. It makes a huge difference in the long run. Like we've seen a lot of change with our
the last 30 days is really when we started doing a bunch of extra, going the extra mile with the information. Like that's when we've seen like a lot of growth here recently. It makes you think, or me, that it's just information for you, like not for anything else, but it is for YouTube. So
for our next tip, it's think about your video ideas ahead of time. So I feel like, again, this was something we really didn't do much in the beginning. We were like, how hard is this going to be? We can really just figure it out as we go kind of thing. But the more videos that you do, I mean, it really does become difficult to like try to keep things new and keep it trendy and try to keep up with everything. So it really does get hard. And whenever you don't do that, which we've also learned, like it really does make it difficult to like keep your passion and your creativity alive, because it feels more like a chore than doing it for fun, which is why we started it in the first place. Like, once we had kind of gotten our routine, really, like a few months ago, it was like, okay, well, what are we going to start posting now? And every night, that's just what it kind of felt like. It was like, okay, well, what are we going to do now? And I feel like you waste more time doing that than just sitting down and figuring out like, okay, this is what we're going to do on this day. And something that we've done is like done a calendar, and
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it really helps out a lot whenever it comes to planning ahead and things like that. But it really helps you not fall into a routine of just, like I was saying, like just making it a chore of like, okay, well, let's do it for tonight. You know, we haven't done it yet. Let's just get it over with kind of thing. Like, you don't want to get into that mindset. And by sitting there and planning ahead, it helps you not fall into that mindset.
To wrap the video up, because we don't want to make it too long and too technical about, you know, doing YouTube, because we know most people just want to see the videos we make, not, you know, how we make them and why we make them. You know, that could be something you want to see. We don't know. But one thing is just to do it for the right reason. And kind of going what she was saying about planning ahead, there's one point where but right before we started doing the calendar thing, I mean, it was as soon as we would like get off at work and stuff and school, it was, oh, you know, what are we going to film today? And then we would get aggravated and stuff because we didn't know what we were going to post, and it was getting late. And so, you know, if you're doing it just to do it and not for like the right reason, you'll fall into that chore, like she mentioned, like you're just doing it because it's a chore, and that's not at all why we wanted to do it. That wasn't our reason for doing it. So when we got that calendar, we definitely got back into the having a reason to make YouTube videos and stuff. So it's been much smoother since we, you know, remembered that for ourselves and started planning ahead.
Yeah, we definitely had, like, this is definitely more of a personal thing, but I remember at that time, like, we had a lot of, like, there was just like a lot of tension in our relationship, I feel like, too. Like, it is something that, especially if you're starting like a couples channel, like, be prepared for that, because I feel like, you know, like we were saying way earlier in the video, it's pretty late when we start making our videos and stuff. So already having that very limited time together, and then having to work in that time that should be your free time together, like, it is really difficult, because you're like, I don't want to talk about this, like, I just want to see you kind of thing and spend time with you outside of all that. But when that's all the time you have, you know, you just have to learn how to balance that really well, because it can create tension and things like that if you're not doing it for the right reasons or not planning it out like how you want to do it.
We went in from that time, you know, we started hanging out until time to get ready for bed and start the next day. That was like our time to just chill every single day and just, you know, relax and talk about it. We went from doing nothing, you know, except for seeing each other for those couple hours to working, you know, for those couple hours. So it's like we never had a break. So, you know, it definitely was hard when we got to that point.
Because even during the day and stuff, like we're saying, like, he's at work and I'm at school. So it's like, or I'm teaching dance, or he's doing, you know, his thing, like he's doing homework and stuff. So even during that time, I mean, we don't really get to see each other, and we don't get to talk about anything other than like school or work. So that time was like our time, I guess you could say. But once we started YouTube, it turned into like work time outside of our full-time jobs and education and stuff. So it did make it really difficult. Learning how to talk through that too. This is getting on a whole other side tangent, but I mean, learning how to talk through that and plan for that. Like, we're not going to sit here and mislead you and say that you're not going to have those things and that it's all easy, and because it's not. Like, it is really difficult, and knowing what to expect is, I think,
it's important.
Yeah, it's important to know like what goes into it, like good and bad. Yeah. But it all is worth it. It really is.
It's not easy.
It's not easy though,
easy at
and
all.
we're not going to mislead you to think that, because it is difficult, and it can be difficult in different ways. And one of those for us was like our relationship. Like, we really didn't get to see each other much outside of that and talk about anything other than like YouTube or TikTok or work or anything like that. So it was really difficult, but we worked through it, and we're back to kicking.
Back to the right reason part. Another thing is we, you know, like she was saying earlier in the video, we take pictures and videos and stuff all the time. And then as we've gotten older, we've started just kind of taking more pictures, and we don't really ever video anything anymore. And then it's kind of turned into we just take pictures. I mean, we don't take, it's very random now. And one thing we talked about was wanting to start at least taking like little clips of what we're doing, because we've been on a lot of trips together, which is so sad. Like I tell her all the time, it's so sad because we've been on so many trips together in the last,
like 2 years.
Yeah, year and a half, 2 years, and we've only caught like 2 of them on, you know, YouTube. Yeah. So that's another thing. Is like we've missed that. Those memories of videoing and stuff. We wanted to start doing that, but then the YouTube thing came up. Just out of, you know, like we've always kind of played around with the idea, like joking.
It was more of a joke. Like 2 years ago, we're like, what would you want to do if we started, or what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What's I gonna say? I don't even know what I was gonna say. Like, what would you think about starting a YouTube or a TikTok? And I was usually the one that's like, no, like, you're just messing with me kind of thing, but.
Because I was not, I mean, full, like, I think we've mentioned it one other time. I never used social media. Like, I never did.
It's so ironic.
I know, it's how we've come full circle now that we're posting on social media. But when we started talking about it, it's always like a joke. And then when we started bringing up, we want to really start videoing our lives to have memories. Well, they were like, well, the YouTube came back up. And it's like, oh, speaking of YouTube tips, our camera just died. So be sure your batteries are always charged. Or just plug it in if you're doing a sit-down video. But yeah, but back to what we were saying. We were talking about how it started off as a joke that, to do social media, because I just didn't like social media. And it started off as a joke, and then it became more of a serious topic when we decided we want to start videoing memories.
Our trips and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, we thought about it for probably 6 months before.
Honestly, about a year. Like, we joked about it for about a year.
Yeah, because we wanted to, probably about a year. We wanted to be sure, once again, we were doing it for the right reasons, and that it was something that we were being called to do, not just do it to try to make a living off of it or anything like that. So I'm going to do a bonus tip.
Okay.
I got a bonus. I feel like that's...
Okay.
To finish off the video, I know I said that was to finish it off, but I've got a little bonus tip that I thought of while we were filming this. So when we first started filming, we have a little camera now that we film on, but when we first started filming, it was all our phones, and it's a nightmare to get a lot of videos from your phone to like your computer, unless you have like an Apple computer, because then you can like do the AirDrop. But just keep in mind that that is awful. Like, it takes so long to, I mean, it really does. Like, it took forever, and then your phone storage fills up, and
then if you take long videos like our one today, I mean,
yeah, it's
trying to send that, it's
hard.
bad.
It's hard. So keep that in mind. If you're starting off on YouTube, that's something we didn't know. But yeah, the long videos on a phone can be hard to work with.
Really, if you get past about 15 minutes on a video, you
can't. Cut it.
I mean, yeah, even if you do like the shared albums, because that's mainly what we do. Like, whoever's phone we take it on, we just add the other person in and we go through. But yeah, if it's longer than like 15 minutes, you have to start like splitting it up.
Yeah, and another thing I just thought of, sorry for full bonus tips today, is, so speaking of how we have a full schedule, when we finish filming, especially YouTube, mainly just YouTube, because a lot more editing goes into YouTube than it does on anything else. But I'd be sure that she sends me anything she's got, because sometimes we still film on the phone. We film on the camera primarily, but like we also take other videos and other shots on the phones and stuff. So I'll be sure that I have everything. Really, we try to get everything on like my computer by Sunday night, and then I have an hour lunch break. So like I edit for pretty much the whole hour. So that's another little tip if you've got like a long lunch break to help with, finding a balance. That's something I've been doing that's really helped, and it's given us an extra hour in the evening together.
So. It's a good way to be like productive, but you're not like, I mean, you're working, but like it's more of like a leisure.
Yeah, and I've just gotten lucky, like where we work the 9-hour day, so we have an hour lunch. Like a lot of my other jobs, this is the only job I've ever had an hour lunch. Most of the time it's like
30 minutes.
15-minute breaks, or it's like a 30-minute lunch, and obviously you can't edit on a 30-minute lunch. Like, enjoy your time, but don't overdo it. I just, like I said, I'm in the position where I do 9-hour days, so we've got an hour lunch. So it just takes me about 10 or so, 15 minutes to eat, and then the rest of the time use it to edit.
Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and again, we want to thank you guys for your constant love and support. We truly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, so thank you so much, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Because we just completed a video, time to celebrate. It's my new dance move.